Hello everybody, welcome to the Comic Game Movie Show. My name is Deshaun and today I'm here, sorry, still dealing with some stuff, so I might kind of cough a little bit. Today I'm here to talk about my concerns about Ms. Marvel. Now, I have briefly brought that up before on other videos. My concern about Ms. Marvel. I know some people have even commented on it. But it wasn't until the more I started looking into Ms. Marvel and some of the things. First of all, I've mentioned this before. Ms. Marvel started shooting months before Moon Knight, She-Hulk, and even like Ms. Marvel started shooting months before Moon Knight, months before She-Hulk. It started shooting around the same time as like Loki. So, I mean, Ms. Marvel had started shooting so long ago that if you think back to I think it's last year's Super Bowl, is either last year's Super Bowl or the Super Bowl after last, when they did the big game video, the big game trailer. Ms. Marvel was in that. Like, it was a brief glimpse, but she was in that. There's been multiple, like, there was an entire sizzle reel, like, put out for Ms. Marvel so long ago. Like, that show, by all intents and purposes, it should have come out. Like, there's a reason. You think Marvel didn't know they were going to do reshoots at the certain times that they had to do reshoots? There is a reason that Ms. Marvel was supposed to come out last year. Ms. Marvel was supposed to come out in the Hawkeye spot. Like, that's just the fact. Like, Ms. Marvel was supposed to come out in the Hawkeye spot. Was supposed to come out last year. And not only did it get pushed back, and now at first I didn't think nothing of it. Because I'm like, okay, it got pushed back. You know, maybe they just wanted to spread things out. But then when it comes out that Moon Knight is going to be coming out, is going to be the first MCU property to come out this year, that Moon Knight's going to be the first MCU Disney Plus show to come out this year, it becomes abundantly clear that I'm like, so when is Ms. Marvel coming out? Because Ms. Marvel was supposed to be coming out next year, so you would imagine it'd be the first show to come out. You would imagine a show that was supposed to come out late next year would be coming out early this year. But reports are saying that it might be coming out somewhere close to November, which is like almost an entire year, which means that this show has been pushed back almost a year. A show that was supposed to premiere in November or December is now rumored to be premiering in November. It's rumored to be the last Disney Plus show, which is insane. There are also many conversations about extensive reshoots. Like, not just normal reshoots. Normal reshoots is we think we could do this take better, or we got time so we might as well try, why don't you come in and do some alternate takes? Like, that's reshoots. Or we think we can make this look better, or I didn't like how this went, but we can come back to it in the reshoot. That's normal reshoots. The vibe that people are putting out there about these reshoots on Ms. Marvel is these are extensive. Almost more than half of the episodes are being reshot. And they are very extensive reshoots. Now, we've heard the same thing about Doctor Strange as well. But Doctor Strange hasn't gotten pushed back, at all. It got pushed back, like everything else did, but it hasn't been randomly pushed back almost a year. And not to mention the details and the images that have come out. While I don't have a problem with the angle they're going for, if you don't know, sorry, like I said, there's been rumors and a lot of evidence that this version of Ms. Marvel is going to be played up more like, what's the word I'm looking for? More like kind of like a Green Lantern. In the sense that all of her powers, her embiggening, her growing her hands and whatnot, and shrinking and all that stuff, like, all of it is still gonna be like the comics, but there's gonna be but it's not gonna be literally her just growing. It's gonna be like this purple glow, this purple, like glowing, stuff that comes around her, that shrinks her and grows her and extends out. Like, like the vibe that it's going for, the vibe that they seem to be going for is that, which most people have kind of agreed that the reason that they don't want to do the traditional Ms. Marvel stretching abilities, you know, just her stretching and growing and shrinking and all that, is because of Mr. Fantastic. Is because their abilities, while me and you, the casual comic book fan, I mean the comic book fan / Marvel fan, understands the difference between Mr. Fantastic's abilities and Ms. Marvel's abilities, an average everyday person is not. They're going to see that and they're going to assume there's a correlation. It's the same reason I said that Galactus is going to be a Celestial, because they just look too similar. They look too similar. I mean, like, if you just took away Galactus having a normal human face, you would think he was a Celestial. Just the armor and everything, they look too similar. They're too big. They're both massive sizes. They're both ridiculously powerful. It just doesn't make any logical sense to go out of your way to create an entire, like, this character looks super similar to these characters, but he has absolutely no. They're gonna just make him a Celestial. And the same thing here. They want to make Ms. Marvel different, so that way that when they do Mr. Fantastic, people aren't asking questions. Now, from what I've seen some people, but from what I've heard, almost everything else is going to be the same. The whole Muslim heritage, all these different things, except she may not be Inhuman, which obviously the Inhumans is a touchy topic because the Inhumans is the worst Marvel in the last decade, let's say. It's the worst Marvel thing that ever came out. It's one of the worst things ever. So we kind of had a feeling that they didn't want to connect her to the Inhumans. Now, mostly. We kind of had a feeling that perhaps they didn't want to connect her to the Inhumans. You know, they didn't want to do that story. But there's little information on it. Some people think they are going to do it. Some people think they're not going to do it. But either way, people are divided on her power change. People are divided on it. There are some people like me who really don't care as long as you capture the essence of the character, and as long as she can still as long as those powers still effectively do the same thing, I'm okay. But it does seem like they might be giving her different abilities so that way they can distinguish her from Mr. Fantastic. And I don't think, but it could be that they want to make her more like the comic book version. I'm not sure. I haven't seen it. Like I say, there have been images out there, and it kind of looks like she creates like her hand and the shape, you know, all the abilities, and she's like and stuff, but like it comes out of her body. I don't know. Like I said, none of these images and stuff really have been very clear, and there hasn't been a trailer yet. But I am still concerned. First of all, and then on top of all the stuff that I just said, couple years ago, I made a video talking about Marvel, what was it? Was it Marvel, 616? It was this documentary on, Disney Plus called Marvel 616. Great documentary, a lot of, there's small documentaries about different topics. Check out the one on Japanese Spider-Man. That was crazy. Japanese Spider-Man one was nuts. But there are multiple topics there's multiple videos on different topics in Marvel, you know, in the Marvel, you know, history and whatnot. And one of them was about Ms. Marvel. One of them was about Ms. Marvel and the creation of Ms. Marvel, how that happened, and the creators and all that. And I remember when that video had uploaded on Disney, I think it was either Marvel or Disney Plus or both, YouTube channel, it had so many dislikes and it's just so many hurtful, awful things. And I made a video about it. You guys might remember that video because it's the most watched video I've ever posted up, where I was pretty livid. I will admit, I don't know why, but like, I just reading that comment section, it just pissed me off. It did. It just pissed me off. It set me off, I'll admit. And I was just like, this is disgusting. This is awful. Like, because it's one thing to not like a character because you don't like the actual character. Like, you come at it and you go, well, I don't like this about the character. I don't like this about the character. It's an entirely other thing to just focus on the fact that the character isn't white, that it's an Israeli character, that it's not, like, and then they fixated on that. There was a little bit of that with Falcon, when Falcon took over for Captain America. There was a little bit of that coming out with people too. Like, oh, it's just political and all this other stuff. So, you know, when this show even got announced, Ms. Marvel was happening, there was always gonna be an aspect of that toxic fan base that was gonna be involved in this show. Just like I said a while ago about Eternals. Of course, funny enough, the Eternals thing ended up not being a big a deal as I thought with the whole Phastos and his gay marriage. But that might be because they didn't they played it like they didn't ignore it, they didn't shy away from it, but they didn't play it, but they did it right, and there were so many other problems with Eternals that was like the last thing on people's minds, which kind of just goes to show you that some of these people only care when something's successful, because when something's not successful and it's whatever, they don't make a deal about it. But Ms. Marvel is one of the highest selling comics in Marvel's history. It's a super popular character. I loved her I've read her comics and I dug her original comic big run. There's something very Peter Parker Spider-Man about her. There really is. There's something old school, high school Peter Parker Spider-Man about her. And if you do her right, write her right, she could be almost like a next generation's version of Spider-Man. Just the way she's written, she's this everyday girl, she's so nerdy, she's so dorky, and she gets these powers, and she's so relatable, and it's different, you know? She's in a different Jersey City, you know, it's a different vibe with her, and it's a different vibe when she just brings something different to the table, and it's always, and I like her as a character. Like I said, I liked her comic book run that I read. I liked her in Marvel's The Avengers. She was a great lead character in that. So I'm excited for this, but I understand, but I go into this kind of cautious because it hasn't gone off without a hitch like I had thought it would be. I thought Ms. Marvel would be on by now. Like, honestly, like I said, I thought I would have been watching it right now, but I'm not. And not only that, but all reports are saying this thing has been pushed back almost a year, which isn't good. It means something's going on. Something's going on with either something they didn't like, I'm not sure, but I'm hoping for the best. I just want to go into this and just want to put it out there that I am a little concerned about Ms. Marvel. You know, it's going to be annoying when it comes out and the anti-SJWs and they come out with pitchforks. That's going to be annoying, but I'm not worried about that. I'm more worried about with the production on this thing, and hopefully there's nothing to be worried about, and I'm just overthinking it. I'm hoping that's the case, but you never know. Anyways, thank you guys for joining the Comic Game Movie Show. Please like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Goodbye.